Takeoff's net worth proves one thing, that raw talent can turn into a multi-million-dollar empire. Today, we're breaking down how he built it and what it says about his impact on hip-hop. His rise wasn't loud. It was focused, fast, and powered by a sound that changed the industry. Understanding his wealth shows how modern rappers turn streams into real money, how touring multiplies earnings, and how an artist's catalog can keep growing even after they're gone. So, the real questions are simple. How did a kid from Georgia pull in millions before 30? What mix of music, touring, and hip-hop earnings fueled that fortune? And after his tragic death, what happened to the empire he left behind? And does the music still make money today? Let's get into it. Takeoff's story starts far from the glare of fame. Born June 18, 1994 in Lawrenceville, Georgia, he grew up in a tight household with his uncle Quavo and his cousin Offset. Before they were stars, they were just three kids in the same home, sharing beats, dreams, and a drive to build something bigger. That family bond shaped everything that came next and gave Takeoff the space to sharpen a sound that would later define trap music culture. By 2008, the trio started calling themselves Polo Club, a name that lasted until they found the identity that fit them best. In 2010, they became Migos, and the shift wasn't just cosmetic. Their flow got tighter, their sound got darker, and Takeoff began developing the calm, razor-sharp delivery that fans still remember. Even then, he wasn't the loudest or the most vocal, but his precision gave Migos their edge, a lane that separated them from every other act trying to rise out of Georgia. Then 2013 happened, Versace dropped, Drake jumped on the remix, and suddenly, Takeoff's world flipped. The song didn't just go viral, it introduced a whole new rhythm to the mainstream. That triplet flow spread everywhere, shaping a generation of artists and helping crown Takeoff as a quiet hip-hop icon before he even realized how far his voice had reached. With Versace opening the door, early albums like Young Rich Nation and mixtapes like No Label 2 pushed the group higher. Their shows got bigger, their confidence got sharper, and while fame often hits fast and fades faster, their rise had layers, built on years of grinding before the spotlight arrived. Takeoff stayed consistent, steady, and locked in on the music. That discipline would later fuel his rap fortune, even if no one saw it coming at the start. But this was only the beginning. From humble Georgia beginnings, he was about to turn hits into hard cash. But how much cash? Takeoff didn't just make music, he built a machine that printed money. By the time of his death in 2022, most trusted reports placed his net worth at about $26 million, a number built on consistent work, smart timing, and the unstoppable rise of Migos. The engine behind that fortune started with the group. Migos didn't just chart hits, they dominated streaming. Every album, every single, every collab boosted their earnings. And the real money? It came from the road. Between 2017 and 2018 alone, Migos pulled in a reported $25 million, powered by a massive run of 93 shows in just 12 months. Takeoff earned his cut from every ticket sold, every packed arena, and every night the crowd screamed the group's lyrics back at them. Those tours became a key part of his hip-hop income streams, and they pushed his earnings into a new league. But Takeoff didn't rely only on the group. His solo album, The Last Rocket, released in 2018, brought in its own wave of revenue. It sold well, streamed heavily, and showed the industry that he could stand alone. Solo royalties, publishing checks, and performance rights all added to his earnings, creating income even when he wasn't in front of a camera or on a stage. Streaming carried a huge part of his fortune too, with hits like T-Shirt, Stir Fry, Walk It, Talk It, and Bad and Bougie. The Migos catalog never stopped moving. Every play on Spotify, Apple Music, or YouTube sent a cut back to the group, and Takeoff's share kept his bank account growing. the strength of that catalog turned into a long-term asset, a foundation of royalty revenue that didn't fade, even between album cycles. He also made money from merch and brand partnerships, the quieter but steady routes that many rappers use to build wealth. These didn't always make headlines, but they helped round out the multi-million-dollar picture. And because Takeoff lived below the noise, his financial moves were often understated, but effective. In the end, his empire wasn't built on one giant check. It was built on layers, tours, albums, streams, solo work, and the power of a catalog that refuses to stand still. So, 26 million is impressive, but that number only raises the next question. What did that kind of wealth buy him? Takeoff's lifestyle wasn't built on loud flexes. It was built on quiet moves, smart buys, and a taste for comfort over chaos. Even when he stepped out in luxury pieces or pulled up in high-end vehicles, it never felt like he was trying to prove anything. It was simply the life he earned through years of consistent work. But in 2022, everything shifted. After Takeoff's tragic death, his estate entered the legal spotlight. Reports say he passed away without a will, meaning his fortune fell under intestacy laws. Properties, vehicles, jewelry, music rights, and every piece of his legacy had to be sorted through the courts. For a private person like Takeoff, this created complications he likely never intended. It also showed something many fans don't think about. Wealth doesn't settle itself. Without a plan, it becomes paperwork, hearings, and legal battles that can stretch far beyond the headlines. Still, the strength of Takeoff's catalog didn't fade. His music continued to stream, climb playlists, and pull in listeners who discovered or rediscovered his work. His voice stayed alive in a business where sound never really dies. And that's what makes his fortune unique. Even after losing him, his music revenue keeps moving, carrying his name forward with every beat. We've seen the money and the lifestyle, but what about the physical footprints of that success? The homes, the cars. Takeoff wasn't loud about the properties he owned, but the footprints of his success ran deep. Reports point to a home in Atlanta and a condominium in Miami, two cities tied closely to his career and his lifestyle. Atlanta was where everything started. Miami was where the industry moved. Part playground, part business hub. Owning real estate in both gave him stability and a level of wealth diversification that a lot of artists never think about until much later in their careers. Real estate adds roots, but for someone like Takeoff, speed and style mattered too. Let's see what drove that. Takeoff didn't chase attention, but his cars did it for him. One of the clearest examples was the Rolls-Royce Wraith he reportedly received for his 27th birthday, a gift that fit him perfectly. Smooth, quiet, powerful, just like his flow. Takeoff's money bought him more than comfort. It bought presence, it bought influence, it bought a legacy tied to everything he created and everything he left behind. He built a fortune the same way he built his music, quietly, confidently, and with a level of skill most people never master. His wealth came from work, not noise, from craft, not chaos. And even though he's gone, the catalog, the properties, the impact, the hip-hop legacy he left behind still move through the world like a rhythm that refuses to fade. His net worth wasn't just a number. It was proof that a kid from Lawrenceville could change music, change culture, and change what success looks like without ever needing to shout. And the story of that rise ends with one truth. Legends don't disappear. They echo.